Welcome everyone to this week's UBChef cook along video. I'm about to get cooking the 10 dishes which are on this weekend's menu. Remember, you've also got the extras on the site now, so this weekend we've got loads of tatans going out, we've got lots of Chalkstream trout pastrami, we've got cuttlefishing, crackers going out, gougères, so much happening. So check the website because obviously there's lots of new products on there. But anyway, let's get cooking now. I've got all my ingredients unpacked, all together, grouped, so I can show you, get to it nice and quickly. Right, let's get cooking. So first course is a weekly bake, and this week it's a little Spanish influenced Panna Cotta tomate. So what this is here, normally it would be the bread toasted, and what you would do, you get your tomato cut in half and you would like work the tomato into the bread, of course, with the garlic. What we've done, we've made you these lovely little olive oil crackers, rolled them through the pasta machine, baked them nice and flat. So that's got nice olive oil and sea salt on there. They're going to go in the oven for about 2 to 3 minutes just to warm up. And then here, beautiful little salsa. This is Isle of Wight tomatoes, skinned, de-seeded, and then made into a lovely little salsa. This has got some lovely little wet garlic, purple garlic from the modern garden kitchen just over in Ryde. So lovely little salsa, olive oil in there, and then we've got a little chopped chive just to go on the top. So these are going in the oven for 2 minutes, and I'll be back just showing you how to put these together. So I'm just finishing off here. My crackers have come out of the oven, and I've got my tomato, lovely little de-seeded Isle of Wight tomatoes. Just getting the pulp, which is mixed with that purple garlic, and then just get that nicely all over the crackers, like so. And then what we want to do, come back with some of those nice chives. That's just making all of the flavours pop on there, and of course going with that real garlicky flavour. So that's all on there. Tiny bit of oil on the top, just to make that gleam. And then also I'm just adding a little bit of extra salt, not too much because there was some on the crackers already. And then simple as that. Let's get these built up. I'm just putting these on a little bit of barley. You can present them on a board, whichever you like, but they're just lovely just to dive into. Beginning of a meal, crispy, full of flavour, stunning Isle of Wight tomatoes, that really lovely olive oil going through there. What could be better? And there you go. That is my weekly bake, starting off this week's UBChef menu. So the fish dish on the starter, we've got a lovely pastrami cured trout here. Just show you that. Look at that beautiful Chalkstream trout with that lovely little coating down here. There's lovely little spices, got cracked pepper in there. So that's all cured, ready to go. Make sure that's served at room temperature. Tastes going to be even better. Compressed cucumber. Compressed makes it ultra green, like that. Got a little bit of dill going through there. And then we've got some lovely little flowers. We've got some borage, we've got some cornflowers in there. And then we've got this monk's beard, or agretti, which has just been very, very quickly blanched. Going to serve it at room temperature. So what I'm going to do, take a little bit of rapeseed oil, just dress that around, touch of seasoning as well, and just set that aside. Then let's get our cucumber, and what we want to do here is arrange it. Now you can do this however you like, but what we're going to do, I'm going to put some cucumber in a little line. I'm going to put some trout, like so. Just take a few slices. This is just going to start it off. So a few slices on the top. Then what I'm going to do, just help to roll that up as you go, and you can see how that's just going to lovely set together, like so. Right, let's get that middle of our dish. I've saved, of course, a few pieces of cucumber. Going to get them on top. A bit more trout, and you can see here what we're doing is getting it a lovely bit of height. A bit more of our cucumber. This has still got a little bit of a crunch to it, but the flavour is really intensified where we've compressed it. So then a bit more trout on the top. Let's get rid of that tray. Then take some of your monk's beard. Let's just work that into a nice little arrangement before that can go just on the top. You see that starting to look really, really nice. Then this is my chilled cucumber soup just here. I'm going to pour that just around. This has got all the sort of likings of a gazpacho. So really, really light, emulsified with a touch of rapeseed in there. And then we'll come back. Gonna get my little trusty pair of tongs, and I'm gonna get some beautiful borage flowers. I've got a whole little selection here just to make this really, really pop when it goes to the table. So a few more flowers on there. It is of course the season for all of these lovely little colours at the moment, so we're making full use of them. There we go. And last thing, little droplet of rapeseed just to kind of split that colour on the top. And there we go, quick clean down. Let's get to this to the table where it's chilled. But that is my chilled cucumber soup, Chalkstream trout pastrami, a little compressed cucumber, and then that cucumber soup around the outside. So a little starter here for you now is this lovely little chicken wings. What we've done, we've marinated them in buttermilk overnight to make them lovely and tender, and then we've coated them in a lovely little secret blend of spices, fried them. There's no bone in the middle, so they're almost like delicious little lollipops. They're going in the oven for about 8 to 10 minutes, basically until they're nice and crispy, all the edges are nice and crispened up. So let's get them in now. And then garnishes when we come back. I've got a charred sweet corn puree here, sweet corn bang on in season, sorry. That's just going to go onto the hob, that's going to start warming up. And then I've got this dressing here, so a little bit different. This is sprouted spelt in there, rapeseed oil, lime juice, lime zest, and that's going to cut through our spices and that sort of kind of oily batter on the outside. Some nasturtium leaves, just to finish off the dish, just to bring some freshness and pepper on there. So back in about 8 minutes and I'll show you how to put this together. So here comes our buttermilk fried chicken. There we go, look at that, lovely and crispy. Smells coming up of there, really delicious, all those little spices in there. Tiny bit of salt on the top, not too much. And then let's get our charred corn puree. So, charred corn puree, a little spelt dressing with lime, nasturtium leaves and a chicken. Now, completely up to you how you present this. I'm quite liking this on the board, just where it's a bit more of a sort of a sharing style one. So I'm just gonna put a nice little spoons of my puree first. Then I'm gonna get this chicken, which is the texture on here is absolutely beautiful, lovely and crunchy, warming, something a little bit different on the menu. So let's get all of our chicken all built up there nicely, like so. Then a bit of dressing. As I said, this is just to cut through the chicken. So what we're going to do is just almost put some of those grains just falling down onto the chicken. And you could serve a little bit of that just alongside if you prefer. You might need a little bit more dressing at the table. And then finish it off. Let's get our lovely little nasturtium leaves here, and then just get some colour with all of those around the outside of a chicken. Let's say one of those dipped in a little puree with a little nasturtium leaf on the top of it. I'll assure you that taste will be going around and around for a good number of minutes. Hope you enjoy this first course. My vegetarian starter for you is this beautiful courgette flour. What we've done, we've just stuffed it with almost like a ratatouille, so it's got Provençale vegetables in there, aubergine, tomato, peppers, nice bit of basil. I've got my steamer just set up here. All I've got is a pan with a sieve on the top of it, covered with foil. Get that in carefully, or just use a proper steamer, of course, if you have one. I've just shown it's easy to do if you haven't. So that's going to now steam for about 8 to 10 minutes. When you take it out as well, be really, really careful, of course, because it will be quite hot, and also you don't want to separate the flour from the courgette ideally. If it does happen, don't worry, you can still present it. So garnishes when we came back, a little sauce vierge just here, again shallots, tomato flesh just in there, rapeseed oil, lemon juice, and then we've got a lovely little selection of herbs and flowers, and a green courgette puree. The courgette puree is going to get warmed up just on the edge of the stove. and then I'm just going to serve the Liège room temperature, some herbs just into there just before we serve it, and then I'm going to garnish it with the flowers. So back in about 8 minutes to finish off. So I'm just going to get the courgette flour out now. Be careful as you get the foil taken back because of the steam, or if you've got a lid to the steamer, be really careful. And then carefully lift out courgette flour. Let's bring our heated up puree over. So then what you want to do, either unfold it, unwrap it, a little cut with a pair of scissors, but just carefully open it out. You see I'm just using that film just to fold it over. And then what we want to do, tiny bit of seasoning just on the top. Take your courgette puree, let's get that right in the centre of our plate. Use the back of a spoon just around and around just to work that out, and that's going to make a nice little base on which to sit the flour. There we go. Then once this flour's allowed to drain slightly, let's put that onto the plate. Be careful of course because the filling will come out quite easily. Then I'm going to get some of my herbs into my sauce Liège. Just give that a little stir. It's all seasoned, all ready to go. And then I'm just going to arrange some of that Liège around. Make sure you get all of that nice tomato flesh. Split the actual puree with some of the Liège and then some more around the outside. So nice and delicate. There we go. And then what's left is to just get some flowers on there. And again, this is where you make it look, you know, really, really summery. Dot them about. Mix the colours up as well so you can get a real kind of selection of colours going on the plate. Got little blue ones, lovely on the top. Some borage. Little nasturtiums in there. We've got marigolds. Everything going on. There we go. And then once you've done that, straight to the table. That is your stuffed courgette Provençale, ratatouille just in the end, courgette puree sauce Liège. A favourite back on the UBChef menu this weekend, Bouillabaisse. So what we've got, lovely selection of fish here for you. We've got some gurnard in there, sea bass, we've got lobster, tiger prawns, mussels. That's going to go in the oven for about 6 minutes, and that's just going to finish off the fish cooking, warm that all through. So we'll get that going in now, 6 minutes. There we go. And then garnishes, we've of course got our Bouillabaisse sauce here, lovely sauce, Isle of Wight tomatoes, saffron in there, really, really nice and smooth. There's no fish bones and all of this, so the whole thing is good to eat. That's going to get warmed up. Make sure it doesn't get warmed up until you're ready to serve it though, so just keep that on the side. If you boil it, the flavour of that fresh fish just disappears. So last minute for that. And then what we've got, charred lemon, just here, beautiful caramelised, where it makes the lemon juice really, really sweet that comes out. So we've got that, some sea herbs, lovely bit of char grilled house sourdough as well. That's going to go in the oven for about 2 minutes just to warm up. A little bit of confit fennel, again into a pan. When it's ready to serve, just warm it up in the pan. And of course we've got a little saffron roux just here. So this is potato, a touch of garlic in there, saffron. That's just going to be served room temperature. So back in about 6 minutes, in which time I'll have my sea herbs and my bread in the oven. All of it will come together and we'll plate up this wonderful, tasty bouillabaisse. So I've just got my bouillabaisse sauce just warming up. Remember what I said about not boiling it. Hot plate ready to go. We've got our roux, room temperature, fennel. Let's get that over. And then that bouillabaisse is almost up. Whilst that is just coming back up, I'll get my garnishes out. So I've got my fish coming out there and sea herbs. So bring that all over. Little bread, sea herbs, charred lemon. Quite a few elements to this dish, but of course the bouillabaisse, yeah, that is just the way it is. There's a lot going on. Bouillabaisse just come up to the simmer. Let's pull that off the heat, and you can smell it, just so fresh. what we'll do to plate, let's get our fennel. This is just a nice bit of braised fennel. Love that aniseed flavour with the fish. Then we want to kind of build up your fish so you see as much as possible what's going on in there. So I'm going to get sea bass. We've got a piece of gurnard just there. Arrange them nicely. Let's get some of our mussels all going around. Of course, as I said, no bones in any of this. No fighting with having to get the little bits of shell off as you eat it. It's all ready to go. Lobster. All the little bits, we take everything out of the shell. Look at that beautiful little claw piece on there. And then let's get our charred lemon just out of there so we can get some sea herbs. Right, just a few of those, just nicely placed around. This is rock samphire grass, all foraged on the cliffs down at Ventnor. So beautiful aromatic samphire grass. Then let's get our sauce. Don't pour it over it, pour it all the way around, you see, so then you don't cover the fish. All about that presentation. And just finishing off, just to see everything, my little bit of charred lemon. Just going to sit that just in the side, ready to squeeze over. And then we've got a nice bit of bread to go on the side. Look at this, all coming together now. Give your roux a nice little stir. And I'm going to put a nice little dollop of that just into the sauce. There you go. And there it is. That's my bouillabaisse. I'm going to dive straight into this now. Wonderful selection of fish and seafood, charred lemon, the sourdough roux. Hope you enjoy it. Next up, I've got a breast of Guinea Fowl Piperade. So what we've done here, breast of Guinea Fowl has been coloured on the skin, and then we've made a stew of red and yellow peppers, onions, garlic, really full flavour. That's on the other side of the Guinea Fowl breast. A little bit of basil leaves in there as well. And then we've just wrapped it. This is going to go in the oven for about 16 minutes. And I'm going to have the skin side up as well. And then we've done some little potatoes here, Hasselback potatoes, cut very thinly, not right the way through. They're going to go in the oven also 16 to 20 minutes. So let's get them cooking now. There you go. There we go. Then the garnishes, when that comes out, I've got a little jus gras here. So this is the Guinea Fowl stock, reduced down, white wine in there, touch of sherry to finish it as well. And then jus gras, because what we do, we take the fat from the Guinea Fowl when we roast the birds, and you get all that lovely fat come out from the skin of the birds. That's whisked into it, and then that makes it lovely and rich, lovely and thick. Flavour is absolutely awesome. Charred spring onions, 2-3 minutes in the oven. We'll be ready to plate up once the Guinea Fowl potatoes are all hot. Okay, out comes my Guinea Fowl Piperade, there that is. Let's get the plate, make sure that plate's nice and warm. This main course. Sauce is just coming up the temperature, and then we'll grab out the last of our garnishes. There we go. That's our little spring onions, little Hasselback potatoes, sauce, looking lovely and rich with that little fat blitzed into it. So what we'll do, let's take our Guinea Fowl off its baking tray first of all onto your board, give it a little trim around if it needs it, and you can see there the Piperade is just underneath the skin. And then you've also got those lovely little basil leaves on there. So what I'll do before I go on the plate, a little bit of sauce. And this just acts to almost make a bit of a mirror on the top of it, like so. Then carefully lift that onto your plate. Remember that the Piperade is kind of sandwiched on the top, so it will come off if you kind of handle it too much. Let's get our potatoes. Look at them lovely little lines in the potatoes, making them super crisp on the top. And then I'm going to give my little spring onions a little trim, arrange them on the top, make full use of that lovely little green on the top of them and the charred look, just to give them a present. Open them up a little bit like I'm doing. just like so. And then back to our jus gras. Just a little bit. I'm not going to sauce on top of the potatoes because then that will lose its crispness. Just like so. Lovely, classic main course, amazing flavours. That is my Guinea Fowl Piperade Hasselback potatoes. Those lovely little salad onions, just charred, and the jus gras sauce. Vegetarian main course sees a return of our twice baked goat cheese souffle. So look at that, you've got this lovely pillow. Say pillow because you'll see the thickness of it. Beautiful souffle. This is green barn goat's cheese, which is from the Isle of Wight. Got the little goat's cheese set on the top of it as well, so that's going to go into the oven. Let's get that cooking now. 12 to 14 minutes. That's going to rise up. So let's get that in. 12 to 14 minutes, so it'll be nice and cold on the top. And let's get our garnishes all described. We've got some rainbow chard just here. Got the stalks, all the nice little colours, got the leaf in there as well. There's a touch of butter on the top. That's just going to be about 3 to 4 minutes in the oven, just to warm that up. Beetroots, which I'm leaving at room temperature. So we've got all the colours there. We've got the golden, we've got the candy, and we've got the red. I'm just going to leave those just at room temperature. So we're all ready just to put into the dish last second. And then look at this, beetroot beurre blanc. So this is, we use goat's whey in here. And we've got beetroot juice, all thickened up. A touch of white wine, white wine vinegar, etc. So really, really punchy beurre blanc sauce. Again, that is going to get warmed up just at the last second. You don't want to boil it for too long, otherwise it will split. Then you have a hot plate ready for our souffle when it comes out, and I'll show you how to finish it off. So my souffle is almost coming out now. So I've got my hot bowl there, my beetroots, and then that is my beetroot beurre blanc. Serious colour on that. Right, before we get the actual souffle out, I'm just going to get my chard out. So, there's my chard. The reason for doing this is because, of course, once the souffle comes out of the oven, it's going to be dropping straight away. So the best thing is to get your plate garnished. So, what we'll do, get a nice little base of all that beautiful chard stem. All the multicolours going on in there, lovely. Lovely little base, like so. That's probably about enough there. And then what we'll do is get our sauce. I'm just going to pour that beetroot beurre blanc around. Obviously watch out because this is where it's bright pink, it's going to stain the bowl quite easily. And then we're going to get some of those lovely heritage beetroots which we've just salt baked, and I'm going to put those all around in the sauce. There's some cubes, there's some wedges, just make it look really, really delicate. Got some of those little pink ones going in there. Again, be careful as you touch them because that colour is going to go on absolutely everything. Then we've got some candy, more golden. There we go, right. So, a little clean down, all ready for the main event coming out of the oven. Make sure you've got your spatula just on the side, and then let's grab our souffle. So, it's been about 12-14 minutes now. Let's bring that out. Let's just get my spatula just around the outside. And then as you lift it up, just pull off any of that little caramelised cream, and then let's sit that just on the top of there. Look at that lovely little floating goat's cheese pillow, straight to the table. Dive in. So next dessert for you, this is a Carpaccio of peaches. Under here, see that lovely little thinly sliced white peaches, all under there ready to go. We've got some raspberries to garnish it with, and then we've got a little bit of white chocolate arrow, which is still in the freezer. A little bit of raspberry gel in here. Just going to cut the edge off the piping bag very, very carefully just before we go. That's all ready to pipe. Remember, the piping bags, of course, are compostable, so they can go in your food waste. And then we've got a little lemon verbena syrup just here and some crystallised lemon verbena leaves. This is one of my favourite ingredients at the moment. This is courtesy of James, who's just behind the camera. So we have got lemon verbena coming from a couple of sources at the moment, but this week this is James's, so he's very happy about that. So anyway, let's get plating up here. What we're going to do, get the paper, and you can see this is the bottom of the carpaccio, because you can see the circle that we put down first is in the centre there, and then we work the way around. So what we're going to do, turn that over like so, put that onto your dish, and then I'm just going to pull the paper off the top like so. Then let's get some of our lovely aromatic lemon verbena syrup, get a good amount of that on there, and then just with the back of the spoon work that into the carpaccio. And this is like next level flavours going on in here, that lovely little sweet syrup mixing with the peach. So that's all on. Then we're going to get our raspberries. Look at those beautiful big raspberries. I'm just going to place those all around the dish like so. Then let's get our raspberry gel. So get that piped. You just want some nice, smooth piped little piles on there. So what it is, it's just different textures, different flavour profiles going on. So that's all on. Then I'm just going to spread a little bit of my verbena out. I'm going to get some of those leaves just resting in there. And again, this is flavour, but this is also that crunch going on. Remembering all that texture. Putting a little bit of verbena on top of each of the little piles of gel. And then last things, let's get our aero, keep it in the freezer until the last possible second. It's lighter than anything, so then look at those cubes of aero. Like so. A few more little pieces and we'll be ready to go. There it is. Super simple dessert, but banging flavour. Carpaccio peaches, white chocolate aero, raspberries two ways, and lemon verbena. Hope you enjoy it. Second dessert for you this week is a vanilla panna cotta, vanilla sablé biscuits, poached gooseberries, and a nice bit of grappa just to go over the top of the panna cotta. So what you need to do, just get your panna cotta. I've got a pan of scalding water just here, and you need to dip it just in the edge of the foil, let it drain off slightly, and then just basically ease it around the edge. A little bit more heat required on there, so I'm just going to put it back in. Important, just do it bit by bit because the panna cotta will melt. Turn it out onto your hand, so a little shake like so, and then carefully into your dish. So let's move the water out of the way. Then we'll get our poached gooseberries. So you've got a beautiful sweet red gooseberries in here as well as the green. I'm just going to get plenty of those all the way around. They've still got that tiny bit of bite to them, which I think is really important. That gives the dish lovely texture. So they're all in there, like so. Let's get our sablé biscuits. I'm just serving them alongside. And then finally that grappa. Just spoon that just on the top and around over the gooseberries. And that flavour with vanilla is really, really stunning. So simple dessert for this lovely weather that we're just about to have. Vanilla panna cotta, poached gooseberries, vanilla sablé biscuit. Final course this week is our UBChef cheese tasting. So what we've got here, our usual cheeses all lined up, some little quince paste, a little slice, and then we've got a chutney here, and then we've got some lovely stout crackers. So look at the colour of those, lovely caramelised. Oh, they smell delicious. Stout crackers all ready to go. So what you need to do, have your cheeses, you've got your cheese tasting notes where you can refer to that to put them in order. So I'm going to start off with my Doorstone, lovely little goat's cheese. Then we've got the Baron Bigorre just next to that, and you can see that, look at that, perfectly matured, oozing, beautiful. Mrs. Kirkham's Lancashire is going on next. Make sure that's all nicely lined up. Then we've got a Gabine. There we go, that's from County Cork. And then one of my favourites at the moment, this is Beauvale. Lovely, lovely blue cheese from Nottingham. Finally, quince, just on there. Let's get our chutney. Give that a little stir. Serve a nice big pot of this alongside. And then you can try the cheeses, how they taste best, whether it's with that little bit of quince or whether it's with the chutney. And then I'm just going to get my little crackers as usual, get them all lined up, ready to go to the table. You can get as many of those as you like. There you go. So that is my cheese course for this week. Serve the cheese tasting notes alongside. Hope you've enjoyed the menu. Remember, lots of extras on the website. Next weekend's menu is ready and live to order until Sunday evening. So if you've enjoyed this week, thanks very much for ordering. If you want next weekend's dinner sorted, you know what to do. Have a great week, and thanks very much for joining me on this video.